What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubCamTV for this, another edition of CubReacts. As we jump into this one, a brand new video dropped this morning from Rayvanny. It goes by the name Rara. I think the actual tune dropped a couple of months ago. I completely missed it, but the video has just landed. It's already on 100,000 views. This one dropped earlier this morning, so it's doing crazy numbers already. Really excited to get into this one, and I know there's a lot of Rayvanny fans who follow this channel. So we're going to get into this one in just a second. Before we do that, though, always make sure you are hitting that subscribe button if you are new to the channel, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, all of that good stuff. Get involved. We're trying to build a bit of a community here, and we are now on the road to 20,000 subscribers. The sooner we can do that, the sooner we can open up more opportunities for the channel. So, without further ado, let's jump into the sounds of this one, Rayvanny with Rara.
Yeah.
I like the color grading of the video already. It's like a pale sepia.
Vanny boy, yeah.
The drums sound cool, man. I think, interestingly enough, with a lot of the Rayvanny stuff that we've kind of reviewed before on the channel, it does tend to have this quite electronic edge to it, and we're hearing that again here, almost dancehall style with the drums, very kind of electronic, very kind of pulsating, very kind of punchy in their arrangement so far. Again, the a cappella that we're hearing as well, the vocal line is sounding very, very electronically kind of augmented as well. I'm loving the kind of high-pitched vocals we're hearing scattered around the instrumental as well. It's sounding good. The video looks super clean. I mean, even that shot there, that looks super clean. Everything looks great, so without further ado, let's go.
I fell in love the way you fall asleep. And my love to you is so deep. I fell in love with your smile.
This is smooth, man.
Expensive gifts.
Just a quick note on the instrumentation for this one. Really nice use of the bass line below. Very subtle, but when you actually clock onto it, it's doing a fair bit. It's literally sliding and grooving all around the low end of the tune. Really well put together. The chord progressions on this sound great as well. I think Rayvanny's vocal sits very nicely over this type of instrumental. Again, utilizing those electronic elements, but adding the kind of melodies and the more kind of natural sounding instrumentation in there as well, just to give it that kind of that almost interpretation to the ears. It works really, really cleanly. Again, the video looks great. The direction of it's good as well. It's putting a smile on my face, and that's the most important thing.
I love you tomorrow more than today. Girl, your heart is my place here to stay. I love you more and more every day. Cause love is what you do, babe. It's not what you say.
Again, kind of lyricism-wise, it's not the most sort of out there sort of thing. It's a very typical sort of sounding love song in the way that the lyrics are written. Like, obviously, lines we've heard before, rhyme schemes we've heard before, but I don't think this is a tune that's meant to be the sort of most in-depth lyrically. This is a tune about the kind of melodic structure and the rhythm it brings. Really loving the use of the pockets that are being found as well, and the vocal sits really, really cleanly on top of the instrumental, which is doing a lot. We've got these kind of stuttered chord lines which are making their way through as well. Again, those really nice uses of pads in the higher end of the mix down, allowing a lot of space for Rayvanny to run through the middle with the kind of drums and the bass line working the lower end of the frequency scale very nicely. It's a very full sounding tune, obviously taking a lot of elements from R&B in there as well, which tends to be quite a full sounding genre. I'm loving the direction on this, I've got to say. Apologies if my shirt is rustling as well, by the way. It's a louder shirt than I remember it being. This girl is outrageously attractive as well. Jesus! Yeah, she's outrageous. Just a little shout. She is outstanding. Put it that way. I try to like steer away from kind of, I suppose, judging people's looks and stuff in music videos, but there is no getting away from the fact that this girl is absolutely stunning. The video works well with just those two as well. I like the kind of dynamic it's bringing, and it definitely ties into the song quite well as well. I feel if there were like hundreds of people dancing around in this one, it would kind of take away from that kind of love song element. This feels like quite a passionate tune in the way it's been put together, and I'm loving Rayvanny's projection as well. Very kind of slick, very laid back, but you can still hear that emotive edge to his vocal performance running throughout the heart of this one. And again, the progression's nice. I'm loving the kind of switch ups and those almost one drop kind of kick kind of double ups in the middle. It sounds great, man. I'm genuinely am very much enjoying this one. Wicked bridge. utilising those vocals again. Interestingly enough, again, this is a very personal kind of thing. With those kind of almost riffs, I suppose, over the bridge section in the middle, I would have gone for a little bit more reverb personally. Again, that's very much a personal thing because there's so much space to kind of fill out. And he's not actually saying lyrics; he's actually just kind of riffing vocally with a melody that fits over the kind of chord progression of what's going on underneath. Personally, I'd have added a little bit more reverb there just to kind of fill things out a little bit more and add a bit more space. But again, that's the Weekend fanatic in me. Kind of speaking, I heard it there, and now it's all I ever want to hear. But again, it's sounding great. It's not taking away from how it sounds at all. I do like those vocals though.
I found a love, I found a family.
Again, stripping everything back. One thing I will say about this, like, the instrumentation's nice, the vocals are nice, but it is a tad generic. One thing I will say about this, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's got all of the ingredients to make it work for the type of tune it is. It's obviously got the typical kind of verse, chorus, bridge, second chorus, or whatever it's called, back into the original chorus sort of structure, and it's working very, very well. It works for the kind of theme of the tune. It's kind of familiar to listen to. It drags you in, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing when you're working on this topic. The only thing I'd have liked is maybe a little bit more kind of ambiguity, I suppose, in maybe the sort of vocal structure, or something that wasn't very predictable, I suppose, because it is a moderately predictable tune. Again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Primarily personal preference on that one.
Ever since I met you, I got no more stress. I wanna take a sip because you're so sweet. Oh, I love you tomorrow more than today. Girl, your heart is my place. I
don't know if it's just me, but we're hearing those reverbs and delays becoming more and more prominent as the tune goes on. And I don't know why that is, why that suddenly sounds a lot more impactful. As the tune goes on. But again, with this verse, we're hearing a little bit more variation. We're hearing a little bit more kind of use of those pockets, a little bit more use of kind of varied rhythms and vocal structures, which I definitely think the tune needed. So that's definitely appeased me. But again, the video looks super, super clean as well. I'm liking this angle here where we're kind of looking down the spiral staircase. I don't necessarily know if there's much of a like deeper meaning behind anything. If there is, please leave it in the comments down below. But it just feels like quite a typical, almost R&B-esque video with a very sort of typical R&B inspired, I suppose, kind of Afro-pop arrangement more than anything else. So there's a lot of different elements all at play with this one.
I love you more and more every day, 'cause love is what you do, babe. It's not what you say. Yeah. Katika baby, zungusha baby. Kakupa mama kiuno, no.
The hook's catchy as hell though. That is one thing I will say. If you're going for one of these more sort of generic sounding arrangements, I definitely think you have to have a catchy element to the hook, and I definitely think that that little vocal line there, that little kind of riff that he brings in at the start of the hook is what does that. That's what separates it from kind of, I suppose, any other tune, and I think it's what gives it that sort of unique edge. Again, I really like this beat shot. The fact it's not super, super bright, it's almost done at dusk, works quite nicely with the kind of layouts. But again, musically, it's a tune that I like. I'm not blown away by it, especially in comparison to Bayer, which was the most recent tune from Rayvanny that we reviewed on this channel. That was a little bit more out there, a little bit more experimental. This feels like not necessarily a safe bet, but definitely something to where he's played his cards a little bit closer, and he knows the audience he's going for, I feel, with this one. This girl is outrageously attractive.
Give me that sweetie, I'm ready to go.
I do like the bridge though. Again, utilising those kind of plucked chord lines which kind of run throughout the middle, just going like diddling, diddling, diddling. Those little chord lines running throughout the middle of the tune are the things that kind of give it a lot of drive. Again, the majority of the melody on this is supplied by Rayvanny's vocals. Like, there are a couple of elements in there. Obviously, the bass melody below is giving it a lot of groove and a lot of kind of wind. The drums are quite simplistic in the way they've been put together. Very well-rounded, very punchy. I could definitely see almost like a Latin element in this as well, in that sort of South American kind of twang to the drums. Definitely giving, there's elements to it, I suppose. Obviously, there's a lot of crossover sounds that happen, but I can hear those kind of influences in there. This is solid though. We'll let it finish off and then we'll give our final breakdown. There we go then. The sounds of Rayvanny. Let's just get that back on screen so I can read it. Directed by Eris Mazawa. Or Mazawa. I think that's a W at the end. Directed by Eris Mazawa. I really like the way the video's shot, I've got to say, on this one. I do like the fact that it's almost in this sort of post-sepia tone. Obviously, the girl in the video is very attractive, can clearly boogie, which is always enjoyable. And yeah, I think Rayvanny does a good job. I think he makes the most of the vocal line. Again, you have to work with a tune like this, you have to kind of play it moderately generic, but I think there are points where you kind of see his more sort of experimental side poke out, but in general, he keeps this very much kind of comfortable to listen to, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but definitely does the job that it needs to do. Overall, it's not my favourite Rayvanny tune, but definitely one I would listen to again, and I hope you did enjoy this technical analysis and musical breakdown. If you did, please make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, all that good stuff, and we shall see you all next time. Peace.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a bright and town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, CubCamTV. Stay locked.